It was once thought that the depletion of carbon-based fuels would precipitate a decline in mobility, coupled with a corresponding demise of the automotive and transport industries, a collapse in global trade networks, and perhaps even a return to small-scale, recognizable, and quantifiable city patterns. There was no reason for this idea, besides perhaps a tacit belief that the near future would look something like the near past. The highway, for example, was arguably the single most instrumental factor in structuring settlement patterns and economic development during the last half of the 20th century. By the end of the 20th century, North America's highway network had become an astonishingly efficient and strategically engineered system, optimizing the logics and logistics of mobility. It distributed goods and people throughout the continent and supported a growing just-in-time production and distribution economy. It was also a brilliantly simple system, a singular asphalt surface that allowed virtually one mode of access and interface: tire-based vehicles traveling at approximately 100 kilometers per hour. By the early 21st century, this system had become the victim of its own success, reaching a critical level of capacity and complexity at which it began to fail. At this point, the system needed to be retooled and redesigned in order to continue to operate. At the same time that the world was facing a collapse in the carbon-based fuel supply, planners, politicians, engineers, and industry were looking at a future of drastically increased mobility, unprecedented urbanization, and the agglomeration of urban centers into megaregions. These integrated transnational urbanities, connected through continuous development and shared trade, culture, and ecology, would concentrate the majority of the continent's population. The depletion of the fossil fuels did not mean that the highway became defunct. The post-carbon highway world primarily entailed the transformation from a plentiful single-sourced fuel to a more technologically advanced matrix of inputs from a variety of sources. So the system was reevaluated and genetically redesigned to do more, becoming much more intelligent in the organization of goods, people, and energy along its length. Instead of having the surface of the highway universally accessible to all vehicle types traveling at similar speeds, the highway became differentiated to accommodate different vehicle types and speeds. A network of parallel, cooperative modes of mobility effectively increased its bandwidth. Like multiplex cables, where multiple wavelengths of data can travel at multiple speeds along the same line, the post-carbon highway accommodates a variety of transportation types and speeds. These include high-speed rail, dedicated freight, and vehicle lanes configured in a thick system where transport types are stacked and separated to maximize speed, safety, and accessibility. The multimodal transfer exchange became the key node along the highway and the place where the highway and its travelers are able to interface with its dependent population concentrations. The strategic sites and available footprint for such interchanges were already determined by the logic of the existing system in the vast wasted spaces of interchange loops. In the post-carbon era of new fuels, a variety of refueling systems are provided at every service point, each fully integrated with the differentiated modes of travel. Freight transfer points, complete with sorting and distribution capacity, facilitate the transfer of goods along the highway's length. Parking facilities, easily accessible to the transit interchange, encourage people to leave their cars and take advantage of a faster and far more energy-efficient mode of travel. The transfer interchange also becomes a site for new services, shops, and entertainment for the people living in the multi-centered urban region. Fresh food terminals for local organic farmers, daycares, shopping centers, postal and courier stations connect residents and businesses with the space of the post-carbon highway.